Federalism is a system of governance in which power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units, such as states or provinces. It allows these units to maintain certain levels of autonomy while operating under a unified national framework. This balance of power is designed to ensure that governance is both efficient and responsive to the diverse needs of a nation's population. The origins of federalism can be traced back to the late 18th century, particularly with the formation of the United States Constitution in 1787. Federalism operates through several core principles, including division of powers, checks and balances, and shared sovereignty, which collectively ensure that authority is distributed effectively across different levels of government. One key principle is the division of powers, which allocates specific responsibilities to different levels of government. For example, in the United States, the federal government handles issues such as defense, currency, and interstate commerce, while state governments manage education, healthcare, and law enforcement. This separation ensures that governance is tailored to both national and local needs. Next, the principle of checks and balances allows different levels of government to oversee and limit each other's powers, preventing any one entity from becoming too dominant. For instance, state governments can challenge federal laws in court if they believe such laws infringe on state authority. Similarly, the federal government can intervene if states fail to uphold constitutional rights, creating a system of mutual accountability. Shared sovereignty is our third foundational concept, highlighting the idea that both the central and constituent governments derive their authority from the Constitution. For example, in Canada, the federal and provincial governments share responsibilities for areas like transportation and environmental policy. This collaborative approach ensures that governance reflects the shared interests of all levels of government while respecting their autonomy. There are two main types of federalism, reflecting different ways power is distributed and exercised: dual federalism and cooperative federalism. The first is dual federalism, often referred to as layer cake federalism. This model emphasizes a clear distinction between the powers and responsibilities of the national and state governments. Each level operates independently within its own sphere, such as during the early years of the United States, when states managed internal affairs, while the federal government focused on national defense and foreign policy. The second type of federalism is cooperative federalism, known as marble cake federalism. This type involves collaboration and overlap between national and state governments. For example, during the New Deal era in the United States, federal and state governments worked together to implement social welfare programs, blurring the lines of authority. The strengths of federalism include its ability to accommodate regional diversity and foster innovation. By granting autonomy to constituent units, federalism allows regions to address their unique needs and preferences. It also encourages experimentation, as states or provinces can test policies that, if successful, may later be adopted at the national level. Additionally, federalism provides multiple layers of governance, offering citizens greater access to political representation and resources. However, federalism is not without its criticisms. One common critique is that it can lead to inefficiency and duplication of efforts, as different levels of government may overlap or conflict in their responsibilities. Critics also argue that federalism can exacerbate inequalities, as wealthier regions may have more resources to implement effective policies compared to poorer ones. Additionally, federalism can complicate decision-making during national crises, as disagreements between levels of government may hinder swift and coordinated responses. Alternatives to federalism include unitary systems and confederal systems. In a unitary system, power is centralized in a single national government, which may delegate authority to local units, but retains ultimate control. This approach is often seen in countries like France and Japan. In contrast, a confederal system prioritizes the independence of constituent units, with the central authority having limited power, as exemplified by the European Union. These alternatives offer different frameworks for organizing governance and distributing authority.